Hello guys. So I'm getting this video out pretty late, so I apologize for that. It may even be the following day by the time that you are viewing this. But I really wanted to get it up anyway because not only do I have another message to do for you guys tomorrow, but I also have 2 new decks arriving tomorrow, so I'd like to do reviews on those. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. And so getting into today's card, and again, I wanted to just clarify that when I say I'm uploading this card, this message, whatever, today, and I give the date, which, by the way, it's October 12th, 2019. That doesn't mean that this is just a specific message for that date. I just want to clarify that. I'm just saying the date that I'm uploading this to kind of keep track of the days, because I said that I would do the 36 cards for those 36 days up until Halloween. So anyone that views this message after that date, that is okay. This is a timeless message. This message is still good, and what is the word I'm trying to say? Still applies. Okay? So today's card is the Apple card. And the Apple card represents risk and reward. For me, it's also about temptation and desires. It can be a symbol for something sacred, also toxic or poisonous. And of course, these meanings come from the various representations. Sorry, I'm trying to like get myself comfortable because I'm kind of slouching right now. Give me a second. So yeah, these meanings come from the various representations of apples, like throughout the years, throughout our history. Like for instance, we see the apple in Snow White, the poisonous apple, right? So that's where we get the idea that this could be something toxic or poisonous. We have the symbolism of the apple being a symbolism of, or a symbol of, the like tempting or forbidden fruit, from the Garden of Eden. So then that's where another meaning comes from. The idea of something being tempting or forbidden, obviously. We see apples at Halloween, which comes from the symbolism of Samhain, which I'm going to talk about that a little bit more at the end of this when we're done all of the cards through in the Oracle, which is going to be on Halloween. So I plan to give more of an explanation of these cards and where the ideas for the cards came from, and just get a little bit more in depth with all of that, in addition to what I'm giving you now. But for now, I'll just say that Samhain is a celebration of the end of harvest season, basically the end of harvest season and the beginning of winter. And one of the traditions were to bob for apples. So, that's where the bobbing for apples came from. And the Celts believed that, now this is something I'm going to check out myself because I've never noticed it, but they believed that, and this is where the sacred fruit comes into play. The Celts believed that apples were sacred because of the seed pattern. So they say when you cut open an apple and in half, when you slice it in half, the seed pattern it resembles a pentagram. So that could be another reason for why the apple is a symbol of the forbidden fruit. I mean, if it's sacred, then obviously that makes sense, right? So for me, I would say that this card really puts things into perspective and offers me the knowledge that I think we should all have when it comes to the holidays that we celebrate and the traditions we follow. Because, we follow these traditions and, we go along with carving pumpkins, and we know that bobbing for apples was a tradition and something that we do, and we've got like candy apples and caramel apples, and we do all of these things and we celebrate all of these things. But do we really even know why we're celebrating them? Do we even know why they exist? So, that's a lot to think about, and that for me is what this card is meaning at this moment in time. I mean, if I really think about it, think about the risk aspect of it, I'm sure that it would resonate in that aspect as well. But, really, really just talking about the Apple card and, doing my little bit of research, because I don't like extensively research these meanings or these cards or anything. I just look in the guidebook and go with my own intuition of what these cards feel like to me, and I just talk about it with you. But anyhow, ask yourselves, are you willing to take a risk? Are you willing to take a risk for the things that you want most in your life? Are you risking too much? Balance is key with just about everything. So, not too much, not too little. But yeah, like, in which areas of your life are you sacrificing? Or aren't you? I mean, you can ask yourself, what has been tempting you? What's sacred to you? Or poisonous to you? What's poisonous or toxic in your life right now? Or sacred to you in your life? And should that be sacrificed? Or are you deserving of it? So there's a lot of questions to ask yourself with this card. Let me just give you the little saying here that she has in the guidebook. It says, sweetest icon, risky red desire, poison and freedom, tempting hearts afire. So that's the little saying that she's got here. So that's pretty much it. I'm looking here in the... Oh, I did want to mention, too, that... I don't know if I should talk about that now or wait, but I guess I'll mention it. Halloween is actually... it's not called Halloween everywhere, which I'm sure some of you know that already, but I didn't know that. But it says here, in Newfoundland and some parts of Ireland, Halloween is actually called Snap Apple Night. So, there you go. Again, apple. And she just goes in and talks about, candy apples, how they were really popular and they're not as popular now, but they're making a comeback. And she talked about the bobbing for apples and how they would do either 3 or 13, and the single women, when they would bob for apples, whatever apple they would get, they'd put it under their pillow, and they were supposed to have dreams of their future husband. So she talks about all of those little things, and it's really interesting. And one of the things I'll talk to you about, like I said, I'm going to talk more about the celebration of the ending of harvest and the beginning of winter. I'm going to talk more about that. But she also talks about how Halloween is celebrated, at different times of the year. So, over here in the northern hemisphere, we celebrate in October, whereas in the southern hemisphere, they actually celebrate in April, which that makes sense too, right? Because obviously our seasons are not the same all over. So just really interesting. The more that I pull these cards out and actually read the guidebook, the more interesting I realize this holiday is. A lot of people, I can't say a lot of people, but I do know some people are very hesitant in celebrating Halloween, or they're very hesitant in being a part of the traditions of Halloween. because of whatever feelings they have toward it. But it's really a beautiful holiday. It's really a beautiful holiday because it's about celebrating the death of people who have passed away. It's about celebrating their their passing and celebrating their life and celebrating the endings of things, and again, like the new beginnings. And I feel like we have like this whole big, like every card that we talk about, I feel like there's this overall, lesson of endings and beginnings, because with every card that I've talked about, it has something to do with an ending and a beginning. So is that the real message here? Is that the message with, doing this oracle? Because this is something that I just chose to do out of fun. And maybe that's the message through doing this for me and for all of you who are viewing these videos, that there might be something, deeper in that message, that, there are endings for a reason. And the reason might be different for all of us, but it's something to think about. But I'm gonna go. It's late. I'm tired. And like I said, I've got a few videos that I am attempting to do tomorrow, but I also have a birthday party to go to. So we'll see if I can fit it all in. But please like the video and share it with your friends. And I will talk to you guys soon. Good night. Or good morning, whatever it is. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.